So you go on a long holiday, you don't train much, you start losing all the gains you've made. Then once you come back, you feel flat and out of shape. Does that sound like it's happened to you? So here's the thing, after a long holiday, it can be easy to fall off track and become out of shape, especially if you have not trained while you're away. So what do you need to do to not fall into a slump and get back on track? Well, in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly what you should be doing after you've taken some time off from training. So let's get into it. So firstly is that you slowly want to ease your way back in. For training, you definitely want to ease your way back in, and this goes for all parts of your training. The issue with taking a break for over a couple of weeks is that once you come back, you feel like you're starting from square one as a beginner. So not strength-wise, but pain-wise. DOMS, or the delayed onset muscle soreness, which is a soreness you get a day or two after exercise. The soreness basically feels like it's back to what it was when you were a beginner. It's painful. So I remember when I took a couple of weeks break years ago on summer vacation. When I came back to training, after a few days, I felt like I was hit by a bus. I was in so much pain. And not only that, after 2 days, I was completely shattered and fatigued. I could barely move. And all I felt like doing was sleeping all day. Especially after I trained legs, I could barely walk for days because I was in so much pain. Sitting on the toilet was a struggle. And that's because I came back full force into training 5 to 6 days per week and hammering all the weights. Then I realized this was the wrong approach because I was just in pain all day. I was so tired and I couldn't concentrate on doing anything else. So my advice would be to take training slow at the start for at least a week. Start by training 3 to 4 times a week and then increase the number of sessions as the weeks go by until you're back to normal. Also, do not train at 100% intensity for the first couple of weeks. Otherwise, you'll be in a lot of pain like I was. Train at around 60 to 70% intensity for the first week, and then every week increase the intensity by around 10% or so. Remember, it's going to take you at least 2 to 3 weeks to get back to training like you were before your long break. It takes some time for your body to adapt, and this goes for if you are a beginner or you're advanced. It's the same for everyone. Now with your diet, you want to do the opposite. Don't ease your way back in. Instead, try and go straight back to your diet. If you slowly ease your way back in, then you'll still be eating the same sort of foods like you were on holiday. So desserts, processed foods, and then it will take more time for you to get your shape back. You want to try and eliminate those foods as fast as possible. Because remember, the more you eat of those foods, the more you crave it. And that's why my advice would be to eliminate them as soon as possible, get straight back to your diet so you can pick up some momentum. And that gets me onto the next tip, which is start tracking for a couple of days so you can get back that momentum. So many people find it difficult to bounce back after a long break because they've been out of routine for so long. When you go for a long break, you've kind of been taken out of your comfort zone. So your brain doesn't actually know where you are and what you're doing, especially if you're a creature of routine like me. And then by the end of it, you feel like you've finally adapted to this new routine and life. And then it's time to go back home. So then your mind has to adapt to a new stimulus all over again. So your brain works like any other muscle, right? When you shock it with a new stimulus, at the beginning, it takes some time to get used to. But then after a few weeks, your muscles get used to it. And then when you come back, you get thrown out of your comfort zone again. So you need to get used to this new way of living. So what ends up happening is that when people come back from a long break, even though they go back to living the same old lifestyle, it doesn't feel the same because a couple of minor things may have changed and then they feel discombobulated. Because remember, not everything is going to be exactly the same as when you left. You know, you may have a new neighbor, your gym may have changed a few things around, the same person you kept seeing at the coffee shop every day may have moved coffee shops. You just don't know. So everything may feel a little bit strange at the beginning for a short period of time. But during this time, you don't want to stay in that slump, feel disorganized and feel like everything is a mess, because then you may end up staying in this slump for a longer period of time because your mind is finding it difficult to process and adapt to everything that's new. And because of this, you may end up losing muscle and gaining fat, and then you will completely lose your shape. And that's why it's so important for you to start tracking everything again. Everything that you were tracking before you left, because that will bring back the feeling of familiarity. And then you'll go back to your good old habits, so tracking your food, your steps, your training, and before you know it, it'll become like clockwork for you again. So remember, stack those small wins as soon as you get back. That will get you back into flow and make you feel more confident. This definitely helps me when I take a long break from training, and I'm sure it'll help you guys out too. So tip number 3 is get out of the house and be active. Don't just sit around all day. Now this is something I have been guilty of in the past, and I'm sure this goes for a lot of you guys too. Have you ever found yourself that after a long break, you just feel even more tired and lethargic when you come back? You feel like you just don't want to do anything. You just want to rest and reset before you start work again. And then you end up staying at home, binge watching TV and putting on weight. Well, this has happened many times to me, bro. I've sometimes felt even more tired after a long break, so then I end up taking even more days off when I get back, and then I just fall into this slump. And that's all because I've just been completely thrown out of routine and everything just feels a little bit different and off. And that's why I generally don't like taking a break from training for more than 1 week, because it takes me some time to get back into routine, being active and back to hitting the gym. The worst thing that you can do after a long break is sit at home all day, because you'll be in your thoughts. You may end up binge watching TV, eating a lot of food, not moving at all, and this can easily become the new norm for you if you're not careful. And that's why you want to get out of the house and move as much as you can, because not only will that give you more energy and help get your energy back, but it will also help you get back into your routine so you can get back to your good old habits. So tip number 4 is to set a weekly schedule. So when you get back from your long break, set a weekly schedule for yourself so you don't end up winging the week and just going with the flow. Because then training, work, diet, everything will be out of sync. Then it'll make it 10 times harder for you to get back into your usual routine and get back into shape. It's just going to make the entire process longer than it needs to be. You want to set your gym routine into your weekly schedule so you know exactly when you have to go to the gym. You want to know the days that you have to go to the gym, no excuses. Instead of just winging it, waking up in the morning and deciding if you feel like going to the gym or not. If your gym routine is going to be decided by your feelings for that week, then it's highly likely you're just not going to go, because majority of the time you're going to feel tired and you're not going to feel like going. And that's why it's vital to set your weekly schedule and dial in your gym routine for the week so you can stack those wins, get back in shape, and then you'll feel like you're back to the full swing of things. And this also goes for your diet. Set your weekly diet. Plan your macros and calories for the week. Otherwise, again, you're going to leave it to your feelings. You're going to wake up in the morning and decide what you want to eat based on your feelings. And this is a recipe for disaster. You'll end up losing your shape and you'll put on a lot of weight this way. And then it's going to make it 10 times harder for you to bounce back from that. So make sure to set up a meal plan with the calories, macros, and timings and stick to that schedule for the week. And the final tip is that you may want to set new goals and set up a new workout plan for yourself. Sometimes it can be tricky to get back into training simply because you may feel bored of the routine that you were doing before, and this can make you feel demotivated. Especially if you've been doing the routine for a while and you're not seeing results. Then you may feel like something needs to change. So after a long break is the perfect time for you to set new goals and set a new workout plan. Just by setting new goals will make you feel more motivated even before you've started taking action, because you have something to look forward to. You see, our minds are programmed this way. Whenever we have something new to look forward to, we tend to feel more motivated. And then we start doing the same thing on repeat. Then the motivation slowly drops. Have you ever felt this happen to you? So you've started playing a new sport, learning a new instrument, dating a new girl. At the beginning, it's all fun. You're motivated to try the thing. And then you get bored and the motivation drops. And that's why it can be difficult to get back into training if you've been following the same workout routine for a long period of time. You just don't feel motivated to do it anymore. So setting new goals and creating a new workout plan may be the key for you to become motivated and get back into shape. Then after a few weeks, the results of this new workout program will keep you feeling motivated. Then after that, that's when discipline takes over. So guys, follow these tips if you've had a long break away from training, and I guarantee after the first few weeks, you'll be back into shape. Also, before this video ends, I quickly want to talk about what happens when you lose muscle during your break or you feel like you've lost muscle, because I know this feeling very well. If this happens, then don't be discouraged, as this is completely normal. You may feel like you have lost some size and you may feel a little bit flat. So generally, muscle loss only happens after 2 to 3 weeks of no training. Now, your body has something called muscle memory, which is when you take a break from training and you've lost a bit of muscle, your body will be able to build back that muscle in a much shorter period of time. And this also goes for strength. So if your strength has dropped, then after a few weeks of consistent training, it will return back to normal and you'll be at that level that you were at previously. Guys, if you're struggling with losing weight and getting into shape and you feel like you've tried everything, then I recommend downloading my free cutting and nutrition guides below. They have a ton of information and they'll really help you out. And also, download my calorie calculator below. Figure out your maintenance calories and then reduce a few hundred calories from that number so you can start eating in a deficit, which will help you to lose fat. And if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, then do me a favor and smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel and you like my content, then do me another favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications, because I'm going to be releasing 2 new videos every single week just like this and you don't want to miss them. And if you want to know how to get from 20% to 10% body fat in just 16 weeks, then I recommend watching this video next. And remember, stay natty, stay clean, and peace. Whew.